Hi, I've been asked to do a complete Phragmipedium collection video, so here goes. My first Phragmipedium is Sedenii, which you've seen before, but since then it's branched. The spike has branched, and I have multiple flowers, and there are buds behind each flower, so I should have flowers for a good while. And now that it's cooled off, the flowers are lasting so much longer, and I'm really pleased with this one as a first-time bloomer. I should also have multiple spikes next year because I have multiple growths. Phrag Urgandiae. I've had this one for a really long time. It had bloomed for me 5 years ago, and then finally this spring it gave me another spike with 3 flowers. The spike didn't last all that long, I guess probably through the heat, but there is another blooming size growth, and possibly I'll have some spikes this fall or next spring, so fingers crossed. Next is Phrag Gargoyle. It's another Phragmipedium that I've had for a very long time. I had bought it in bud, and then after flowering the plant went downhill. I did manage to save a single growth through water culture, and so it's now at the 5-leaf growth stage, and perhaps next year or the year after I'll have some blooms. Next is Phragmipedium longifolium, which I bought last December. It was in spike or in flower at the time, and after giving me just a single flower, I think the spike just dried up, and I was really disappointed. But since then it's grown 2 new growths, some huge growth, and I'm thinking that next spring I'll have 2 spikes on this one. So yay for longifolium. Next is Phragmipedium Hanne Popow, which I bought recently this summer. I bought it in spike, but all the spikes, all the flowers just blasted on this one, and I'm thinking it's probably the summer heat. I should have not bought it in the hot summer, but that's okay. Live and learn. But I'm hoping it will adjust and give me some flowers next year. Next is Phragmipedium Elfin's Luxury, which is a complex hybrid, and the flowers look a lot like besseae, and they're very pretty. I had bought it with this Georgette Marcoux, but I lost this Georgette Marcoux for some unknown reason. But the Elfin's Luxury is making a comeback. It's got a growth, and hopefully next year I will see more flowers. Phragmipedium Fireworks is my only long-petaled Phragmipedium, and this one's flowered for me 2 times in the past, and the plant was doing really well, but I added some blood and bone meal to it, and it did not like it. I don't know why. I'm just not sure why. But I split the plant. I put one in water culture and the other one in bark and sphagnum moss, and both are doing very well. So now I'm just waiting to see which one will flower first. The growths at this point are quite small, so I'll have to be patient, but I'm hopeful I'll see some more flowers one day. Next is Phrag Elfin's Blotch. The flowers are supposed to look a lot like pearcel, and this one's never flowered for me. It is a very slow grower, but there are 2 new growths on it this year, so I'm hoping next year that I'm going to see some flowers. Next is Phragmipedium Living Fire, which I bought at the spring show. It wasn't bud, so I can't take credit for this lovely flower. I had 2 buds on it, 2 flowers, and then I cut the spike because it's a really small growth. But this year's growth is doing super well, and I'm hoping that next spring this too will flower for me. Next is Phragmipedium Andean Fire, which I've had for 2 years, and I can't wait to see these flowers. I love red frags. I really, really love red frags. And this one's taken off so much this year. I don't know what I did, but it just took off. It has a new growth as well, along with a spike that's growing so fast. So maybe in a month's time, I'll have some flowers to show. Next is Phragmipedium Jason Fischer, which I also bought at the spring show. This one gave me a really hard time. The roots they just didn't take. But finally, after a second repot, I'm starting to see some new roots, and the leaves are finally growing. This one is Phragmipedium Green Hornet times Inca's Fire, a very complex mix, but it should also give me some red flowers. I've had this one now for maybe 2 years, and it hasn't grown very much. Maybe this year I'd say that it's finally taking off, and hopefully I'll see some flowers. Next is Phragmipedium Peruflora Cirila alca, which is a caudatum hybrid. I bought this from Forest View Gardens this year. It's a really, really small plant, but it's growing well for me. So I'll be patient and see how this one grows. My last one is Phragmipedium caudatum, which I bought from Tropical Gardens this year. I just could not pass up on this plant. It was advertised as blooming size, and I don't think this is blooming size. But the plant is healthy, and I repotted it in Orchiata and some crushed eggshells. So hopefully these new growths will do well for me, and I'll be patient with this one, and I'll be very, very careful, and I'll give you updates on it. Thanks for watching, and anyone wanting to know how I do my frag culture, please read my notes.